Well, welcome to another vlog, and this time around I'm back in the beautiful woodland where I shot the last video on photographing red squirrels, and I'll put a link to that video just up to the left there. So this vlog is all about patience, observation, and knowing when to move on from a project. And I'm just walking up to the location of the hide. I've moved it about 20 or 30 yards from where it was in the last vlog, and I think it's time to move on. But I wanted to share with you what I've seen and what I've experienced and how much I've enjoyed the last 6 weeks or so, coming up regularly early in the morning and hoping to see a pine marten, which I did last week. So let's go up to the hide and we'll catch up there. Well, here I am at the hide now, and I've moved it about 20 or 30 yards from where it was in my previous vlog. And over the past 5 or 6 weeks, because that's exactly how long it's been here, it's nearly part of the furniture, I've observed that miniature landscape that you see right behind my shoulder here transform from late winter through spring, and now we're into early summer, mid-May. And on some mornings I have thought about giving up and moving on to a new project, but something has kept me here, and that something was the chance to spot a pine marten. Now, whilst waiting for the pine marten, and what a wait it was, I knew that other mammals and birds were visiting the location. And this little device, and I know I introduced it to you in the last vlog, it's a Victor trail cam. Well, I've put this up here and in other locations throughout the woodland. So I'll play some of the highlights that were captured on the trail cam. And the trail cam really is part of the reason that I've persevered with this little project, because I knew there was an opportunity to capture some of these mammals. Now, patience isn't a virtue that comes easy these days. We live in a time of social media, and I think we're all somewhat prone to flicking through Instagram and looking for that instant gratification of a beautiful photograph. But this time, the last number of weeks, has taught me a lesson, that to sit and to quietly observe a very limited scene can yield great variety and enjoyment. And that's exactly what I've got out of my time here. Now, having that little bit of patience and returning again and again has opened up my senses to everything this beautiful little location has to offer. To experience the sounds of the forest, you need to be here. You need to sit silently, sometimes close your eyes, and a whole new world of experience opens up. The pitter-patter of the red squirrel as it clambers across the ground in search of hazelnuts, even hearing them bite through the shell of the hazelnut. I've learned to notice that when I can't see the red squirrel, I can hear it chewing through a shell, and that opens up a photograph in itself. The jays, to hear the jays calling, that harsh call in the distance, and I know by the sound of their wings that they're about to fly in. But the most memorable sound I've heard here in the woodland is at dusk when silence falls. And it's a wonderful experience to hear that level of silence when there is movement and song in the woodland, and then it just ceases. And at that time is about, I would say, half an hour to an hour where the daytime activity ceases and the nighttime activity of badgers and foxes and pine martens start. And it's like a whole new world is entered at dusk here in the woodland. With the sense of smell, a totally different experience unfolds itself. To smell that musty scent of the fox, as I have done on a number of occasions. You may not see it, but you know it's present. And particularly on damp evenings, I've often, as I walk back through the woodland, picked up on that scent. And it's a wonderful experience to know that a fox is in the area, and that scent will linger for a while, so it may be 5-10 minutes prior that the fox has been through. Now, the pine marten doesn't actually have any heavy odour as such, and it's quite silent in the way it moves through the forest. But other smells, such as the beautiful smell of pine, and it's not here all of the time. It's only when it's raining or when it's dry and the wind is a little bit down that you'll catch that scent in your nostrils. And what a wonderful experience that is, to sit and to have that scent of pine wafting through the hide. And a sense that we don't often talk about is this sense of touch. And as I lay out the food here, as I do for the squirrels, I leave hazelnuts, and for the jays, some peanuts and a little bit of jam to attract the pine martens in. And to place your hand on the moss that's damp and cool, or on the bark of a tree, it adds again to that experience, and to have that full experience that smell and touch and hearing provide us. Well, obviously sight is the most important sense when it comes to photography, but trying to capture other elements of the landscape, to capture an atmosphere, a feeling, is all part of the challenge of photography. And although we can capture smell or sound or touch, a photograph should be more than that two-dimensional element. Now, the scene behind me is quite limited compositionally, and over the past few weeks I have focused on certain areas and tried to perfect and hone the composition into those little spaces. And I'm going to take a few minutes now just to show you some of the areas or compositions that I've focused on and some of the photographs that I've taken. Well, it's unsurprising that my attention is drawn to this beautiful branch which snakes out from this Scots pine tree. I've become very attached to this tree over the past few weeks, and to the end of the branch here, and this beautiful umbrella of pine needles, which you see are in flower now, which only adds to the photographs. And I've carefully placed hazelnuts on and between the little branches and pine needles here. And the squirrel has consistently made its way up the branch here. And you may have seen in some of the trail cam footage, the pine marten has also made its way up along the branch here, as I've left some peanuts there. But one particular part of the branch, and this is what I mean when I talk about focusing on a miniature landscape and tiny elements within this area that I've bound myself to over the past few weeks. There's a little branch up the top here. I'm not sure whether you can see it. It's in the shape of an M, just above my head there. And I don't know why I've been drawn to it, but I've placed the hazelnuts there, and I've taken 2 photographs that I particularly like. One of the red squirrel with its paw on the actual branch, about to move, and then the second one of a wren, which has sat beautifully on the branch. So that's the first little area that I've focused my attention on in the last few weeks. So let's go up and look at a few more. So this little mound now is right in front of the hide, and I've regularly placed hazelnuts here, and it's managed to give me quite a number of beautiful close-up portraits of the red squirrel. This little log here, which is enveloped into the forest floor, and you can see the mosses growing over it, and it's a lovely larch tree in the background. This is another location that I've used, and when I say I've used it, I've left food here. So we've regularly had jay and red squirrel, and most recently last week I had that experience of the pine marten, only for about 5 minutes, but he took some peanuts that were left here. So this is my favourite location of this little area that we've been walking around. And here's my friend Rock, which is, I'm even talking to the landscape now, which is covered in moss, and is a wonderful prop, if you will, for jay. I've had some lovely shots of jay here, of red squirrel, of pine marten, and of a fox. But of all the photographs, one of my favourites was taking on this little moss-covered branch, which you'll see just to the left down there. And the composition of that jay photograph, and I'll put it up there now, it just means quite a lot to me, because it seems to encapsulate this whole area. It's like the enchanted forest, and this area is like a little miniature enchanted forest that drops off. You'll see we have oak trees here up to the left of me, the Scots pine. And the leaf is coming on those oak trees now. So we're entering another special time of the year, but I think it's time for me to move on and to leave this area to the creatures that live in it.